Hey, my swanky people, Alex here. I am with my gorgeous guest, Miss Erica, today, and Erica is looking to get the Posh. So if you take note, this is a smooth, sleek bob type look with very little volume, very shiny, very polished, a little bit of bevel in the ends. So obviously Erica has much longer hair than the Posh. So we're going to improvise a little bit, and I'm going to show you how you would execute this look on Erica or somebody with shorter hair. So with Erica today, I washed her with Pureology Smooth Perfection shampoo and conditioner. I wanted to kind of get the hair a little heavy with product, something that's going to keep it smooth and sleek and shiny and eliminate frizz. So I love Smooth Perfection. And then I prepped her hair with Pureology Color Fanatic 21 spray. It's great for detangling. I love it as a pre-cut just to prep the hair. We also put about a little bit more than a dime size amount of Frizz Dismiss Rebel Tame in her hair. It contains babasu oil and offers heat protection up to 450 degrees. And I just love how it goes in the hair and creates that really smooth, shiny look. In addition to that, I put a little bit of Instant Deflate oil in there as well. So now that her hair is all prepped, I have her parted down the center like the Posh as well. She is pretty wet, and obviously time is of the essence when you're dealing with your guests, so you want to move quickly. I am going to start with a rough dry just to get a lot of that moisture out of her ends, and then I'm going to move more into a wrap dry, using the shape of the head to kind of just smooth the hair with a big paddle brush. And then from there we're going to do some flat iron work. So we're going to get started. Here we go. So I've got my blow dryer. I like to rough dry with my concentrator off. I feel like it's just a little bit more, it just offers a quicker blow dry, but when I start to do the wrap dry, I'm gonna put my concentrator back on. So I'm gonna get started getting these ends dry. I'm just gonna focus more at the ends and less at the root. I will go more for the root with the wrap dry. So just time saving. Notice as I'm rough drying that I'm concentrating the hair in the long direction, so I'm kind of pushing the airflow this way to prevent too much frizz. I don't want to come up underneath it and have the hair flying all over the place, because then that's just going to make more work for us down the line. I got the hair about 80% dry, so I'm going to put my concentrator back on, and I'm going to start doing more of the wrap dry. I got my flat iron heating up in the meantime. I'm always kind of trying to think of time-saving things, so I always want to get my iron heating up while I'm doing my blow dry work, so I don't have to wait on that down the line. I also like to keep my girl facing the mirror so she can see herself. So I'm going to get started. I have my concentrator on. I have a nice big paddle brush, and I'm going to just start like blow drying the hair. Obviously this mannequin stand is a little wobbly, so I'm going to do my best not to knock her over. But I'm going to start kind of just wrapping the hair around the head shape and try to keep it as smooth as possible. So here we go. side note, I'm obviously struggling a little bit with the mannequin stand, so I can't create as much tension as I could with a guest in a salon as far as the wrap technique goes. I'm gonna kind of put the blow dryer down for a second and show, but in the salon, you know, you can kind of have your guest tilt their head, and then you're really gonna work around the head and wrap that hair. So you can see I'm pushing this way, and you wanna get under here and just really use the head shape to start that smooth blow dry. Goodness, this thing, I really struggle. So also, I'm just super cognizant of where my concentrator is directing that airflow. So if I'm wrapping this way, I wanna go and kind of follow that direction with the blow dryer. So be aware of how you're blowing that air, because that can really create frizz if you're getting too crazy with it. So anyways, I'm gonna keep blow drying. That I'm starting to kind of do a little bit of this where I'm putting the hair onto the paddle brush and twist my wrist, and that's just because I really can't wrap dry very well with this the mannequin stand kind of moving all over the place for me. And that's something that you can do on your guest as well, just to kind of push the airflow and follow that brush with the concentrator in that airflow direction to create smoothness. I always like to remind my associates that if you are going to be using a flat iron, you don't need to spend a ton of time, really working with round brushing and overworking the blow dry. You really just want to get it dry as fast as you can, and then do a lot of that iron work to polish on this type of style. So now we have Erica 100% dry. You always want to check the nape really well and make sure the nape feels nice and nice and dry. You never want to leave any of that moisture in the hair, especially when you're going to be using the iron. So now that she's nice and dry, I am going to start with my flat iron. And whenever I am working on my guests, I always like to start in the front sections first. So I'm going to quad her hair out into I'm just going to separate the front from the ears forward, and I'm going to take the back into one big section. So it's going to be in 3 separate sections. So I always like to start in the front sections on my guests, whether I'm doing a blowout or iron work. I like them to see themselves starting to transform into this style instead of staring at the front of the head being wet while I'm working in the back first. I just think it's a little bit more of a pleasant experience for them to stare at themselves with their, getting the front finished first. So I like to start out in about 1/4 inch sections, so inch by inch, maybe a little bit less than that, so like 1/2 inch sections. And I'm going to start here at the ear. I am a little bit neurotic about my flat irons. I was trained by Keith himself back in the early 2000s when everybody just had super smooth, straight, sleek hair. So I am a flat iron queen. I love just getting the hair nice and smooth and shiny and kind of seeing it go that way. So I always take my comb underneath and I start at the root, and you're gonna kind of like pump the root a few times. The root is the most important area that you want to get smooth. And then you're gonna follow down in like one nice clean sweep, and then just flip your wrist a little bit on the ends to kind of create that smooth bevel that we see in the Posh. So that's my first section, and I'm just gonna kind of continue on 1/2 inch sections all the way up And then I'll go to the other side. I don't like to pick up my previous section. I like to stay in my new section so that I'm not overheating the hair. But again, kind of a good little pump at the root, and then a nice, slow, smooth, controlled finish down to the mids and ends. Again, those ends are gonna be the most fragile, so you don't wanna hit them with too much heat. You can kind of go over it, you know, just seeing how the hair responds, and a little bit of bevel on those ends. And that Rebel Tame and Instant Deflate are giving me a really nice heat protection, again up to 450 degrees. I do have my iron kicked up all the way based on the coarseness of the hair and what you're dealing with. If the hair is damaged, you might want to turn your heat down a little bit, or if you're dealing with somebody that has kind of unruly hair, it's okay to keep it at 450 as long as you have those products in there to protect the hair. So then again, just a little bit of the bevel at the wrist, and drop your comb. Sanitize your comb. But yeah, see, we're starting to kind of take that nice shape. Sometimes I'll hit the ends again just to kind of make sure that they're laying nice and smooth. And she's getting great shine as well. If you don't get that root nice and smooth, then the style isn't going to hold well for you throughout the day. So that is the most critical, crucial area that you want to have polished. I mean, obviously you want your mids and ends really nice too, but make sure that that root all the way to the scalp is nice and sleek and smooth. Begin a little hair from the other side. Obviously stay, you know, within your part lines. Make sure that you set your part from jump and that you're not pulling hair from the opposite side, because once you kind of blow dry it into place and flat iron it into place, it's hard to change your part. Right there when the thing moved, I don't know if you can see it very well, but I got kind of a little bit of a crease in the hair from the iron because I kind of snagged when the stand moved. So you want to kind of go back over that again and make sure you smooth out any of those lines. You never want to see crease lines in your flat irons. Right here around the face. And it's nice to kind of see the direct difference from one side to the next, like unpolished and much more smooth. And sometimes I'll like over direct my section, like areas like this where I want to just make sure I get it. You can bring it up off the head so that you're able to get all the way to the scalp. And always keep your comb right close to your iron. There we go. And at this point I might take a little bit more of the Instant Deflate and rub some of that oil through the mids and ends just to kind of polish it out and add a nice shine. But she's looking good. We're going to go to the next side. Quarter-inch sections. I would say from start to finish, this style should take about 15 to 20 minutes to do. Obviously in the salon, you want to be cognizant of where your cords are coming from. So my cords come in kind of in front of her face here. It would be probably on her body in the salon. So I would probably move the chair a bit to keep the cords off of my guest. And you'll see here, I'm going to kind of elevate the hair and pump the root. Now if your guest has little baby hairs around their hairline, you know, you want to maybe isolate those and kind of fine tune those. Like, so let's pretend this is a little baby hair here, and I'm just going to kind of hit that and make sure it's nice and smooth. And then again, I would most likely go through now with a little bit of oil on those ends to add shine. There you go, and you can see you get a little bit of that bevel on the end. So on a bob, it would just kind of curve under and just nice and sleek and smooth. So now we're going to move to the nape area, which is also something I'm super nitpicky about. I like to have the guests kind of put their head down a little bit so you can get in the nape. I like to take a very fine section of the nape. You'll often find that guests have a lot of little baby hairs here, and you can see she's a little wavy in through here. I'm going to kind of take this in half as well and create like a micro section. And I'm going to pump the root. I don't want my comb, I want my comb. And same as the front, just keep your comb in front of your iron, a little flip of the wrist. Sometimes too, I'll actually clip all this up, and on the guests they'll have like little baby hairs that fall down. Unlike Erica, she does not, but a lot of my guests will have little baby hairs. So before I even take that first section, I'll keep everything clipped up and then see what's falling out, and I'll flat iron just those little tiny hairs just to make sure that they're nice and smooth and sleek as well, because they can easily get messed. I'll even sometimes kind of come up in little angles around the nape zone here. So like a little triangular section, just so that I can continue to get the hairline really nicely there. Pump the root and follow through. Same on the other side. Keep taking nice small sections. For some reason, Erica's hair is making my flat iron a little funky, so it's giving me some tension. My iron isn't gliding as smoothly as I would like. Excuse me 1 second, I hear a timer going off. Must be my other client's colorist process or my dinner, so hang tight. Here we go. Sorry about that, Erica. I kind of like to work in diagonal back sections, just because it kind of goes more with the bevel of the head. I feel like it is a smoother section. Come. Now, under normal circumstances, I don't know if you can see, but my flat iron is getting a little bit of buildup from Erica's hair. So if I were working on a guest, I would definitely stop and clean that off. It can just kind of create like a not so smooth flat iron experience. So always pay attention to that. That can happen a lot with keratins as well. But with Erica today, it's kind of a losing battle. I think it's just her mannequin hair is a little funky. To get that off, you can just get like a damp paper towel. Sometimes you kind of need to scrape it off. It can kind of be like really caked on to the iron itself. finish just a couple more sections. Nice and slow, take those mids and ends. And the last section. Over here. And just passing those ends just a little bit to make sure they're all doubled nicely and smooth. And then I take that oil and I will run it through. And here you have it. Oops. There goes a wobbly girl. Nice, smooth, polished, sleek, shiny finish. And that's that. So see you later, Erica. Have a great day. Thanks, guys.